you always should be sweet talker, right? Not in terms of deceiving someone,
Yes.
but at least with respect, with that trust, right? You should have your head cool and you should be always on the move. But
Can you tell me of an incident that you've perhaps had, since you're a salesperson, you've always been one. Can you tell me of an incident that you've had of a particular client that perhaps kept a nice mark on you, something that, got you back to think on something that you wanted to do? Can you share something like that with me, please?
sure, two things come to my mind. The first thing I'll talk about, since you use that word, right? That you have been a sales guy,
Yeah.
right? So honestly, I never saw myself like that.
Yeah.
Okay, since I did my engineering and joined as an engineer at IBM, and then even at Nonstop, I was doing sales, but whether what was my identity was like still doing a lot of things here and there, right? So I think I owe this. So there are like multiple organizations that I have been part of, right? I think in 2015 I started working with BNI.
Yeah.
Then I think I used to also go to this lot of talks that used to happen at TIE, right? TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So in that, I remember in one of the talks that I was sitting, and Dr. Anand Deshpande was giving he was essentially talking to a lot of new budding entrepreneurs or some, they've always been there. He mentioned that if you are a founder of a company, right, you essentially have to ensure that sales is now becoming your top priority, right? So who you are, that identity you have to put it in on yourself, that you are a salesperson's first, right? And essentially you are there to solve a certain person's problem.
Correct.
Because if you come as an engineer first, right, and when you look at the business way, you can then start saying that you can eat instead of like this, you could eat like this as well.
Correct.
Right? And then a lot of new ideas will come up, but they might not be necessary for the business.
Correct.
Right? So that's why a salesperson who is essentially come there for the solutioning of a problem, that is what the identity that I go with. Okay, and couple of incidences that I was talking in the very early days. We didn't have say US based customers, so I had a lot of India based customers. We still have one of the customers. He mentioned this part, that how one entrepreneur or how one salesperson should be, right? So he used his exact words were, you need to have ice on your head, okay? You need to have sugar in your mouth.
Yeah.
You should have wheels on your legs.
Yeah.
And so these were the three things that he said. I added the fourth one later on after very long years.
Yeah.
You need to have thick skin like a rhino,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
with this part, I think grit becomes a very, very important part of it, right? So you always should be sweet talker, right? Not in terms of deceiving someone,
Yes.
but at least with respect, with that trust, right? You should have your head cool and you should be always on the move. But there will be incidences where you will not be prepared for, which you can just anticipate that okay, something might go wrong, but you might not know when and exactly what. So you have to be a bit thick-skinned,
Yes.
and all of that rolls out into you being gritty,
Yeah.
right? You might not know what exactly you are doing, you might not know exactly what this will lead, but that constant effort of coming back and doing it, and this is something that I learned from my customer, who is a very dear friend, and now I also consider him as a mentor. It's a constant pursuit of that success.
Correct.
That is what you need, right? And I think I still carry that with me, and I go around everywhere with those things in mind. Yeah, it's a brilliant question. Thank you.
No, I love that. So I'll always remember ice on your head,
Yeah.
sugar in your mouth,
Yes.
wheels on your feet,
Yeah.
and skin like rhino.
Skill like
I think in short, this
Yes.
works. This is salesperson's go-to.
Yeah, yeah.
But I agree with you completely. And these are the 4 tools. If you actually, before you enter,
Yeah.
you're comfortable with these 4 things.
Yes.
Nothing will go wrong for you.
Yeah, yeah.